This is the topic of diabetes and obesity. This is Dr. Bernadette Dalawan welcoming you to another episode of our YouTube channel, The Empowering Functional GP. Today and over the next few episodes, I would like to deal and talk about this very interesting epidemic that's happening globally for so many decades now. This is the topic of diabetes and obesity. I want to reference you in particular to this book, The Obesity Code, and the writer, Dr. Jason Fung. This has captivated me. What he says in this book and his method of coming to realize the things that he has written in this book was an amazingly revolutionary idea that is changing obesity and diabetes in the world. His idea of what causes diabetes, what are the faults of modern medicine, and what has been the pitfall and the reason for the failure of the many diets, exercises, and the many recommendations of even specialists in obesity. The major things that he has studied and he has brought as an explanation for the increasing incidence of weight gain or obesity, and hence insulin resistance and diabetes. You know, the incidence of fatty liver, non-alcoholic fatty liver, and the subsequent rise of cancer, which has been related to obesity, is the fact that we were looking at a wrong direction. Specialists and recommendations were looking at the sign of the problem, which is high sugar, instead of looking at the root cause, which to him in his studies has pointed out to the presence of high insulin levels. Yes, high insulin levels, or the state called hyperinsulinemia or insulin resistance. Diabetes and obesity, some call it the diabesity or epidemic. They combine the two conditions together in one word called diabesity, a common foundational flaw, which is the incidence or the pathology of increasing levels of insulin. So what is insulin? Insulin is the hormone that is secreted by our pancreas to regulate and stabilize the levels of insulin in our blood. But when there is excess of insulin in our body, this becomes the problem. It's important, therefore, to know what raises insulin. Insulin is fat storing, so it's very good. However, it also is a growth factor. That's why obesity is related to cancer growth as well, because of the excess insulin and the excess, therefore, of growth factors. High insulin is the problem in diabetes and obesity. So what are the things that elevates insulin? One, all foods actually elevate insulin to different degrees. That's including carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. However, the difference is carbohydrates of all the three macronutrients is the one that spikes insulin the most. Proteins, less so. It elevates, but only a small amount. And the least that elevates insulin is fats. And therefore, this is where the diet recommendation of low carbohydrates and high fats are based on for losing weight. So when you have high fats, it's a good source of energy, but it doesn't spike our insulin. When we eat a lot of carbohydrates, especially processed ones, where the body, there is an immediate surge of glucose in our system, it spikes our insulin. And more so as well, one of the trends that has been observed, and unfortunately in this study, he says the recommendations of snacking or eating more than 3 times a day, which a lot of physicians, doctors, and dietitians have come to recommend for various perceived health reasons, has contributed to the increase of diabetes and obesity. snacking. Yes. Why? Because most of our snacks, for one, are high in carbohydrates. They are processed, and as we eat all kinds of food, spike insulin. So instead of eating 3 times a day, we eat 5 or 6 times a day. So you see, there is this continuous and persistent stimulation of insulin. These are the things that spike insulin more commonly. But there are 2 additional things that elevate insulin. Second, from diet, is stress. Who is not stressed? In this modern life, there are various stresses, especially with work commitments, having kids, marital discord, anxiety, the pandemic that we are in today, worries about our children, all sorts of worries. It elevates cortisol, or the stress hormone. While cortisol is an adaptive mechanism to help us cope with stress in the short term, but in the long term, if we are running on high cortisol all the time, that's when high cortisol levels stay. They also elevate insulin, which increases our chances of high sugar levels and weight gain. And the third one is sleep deprivation. So if you are a night worker and you work nights for months and for years and years, and you're constantly sleep deprived, and studies have shown that night workers often average 5 hours a night of sleep. And that's not good. It's a form of body stress that signals increased cortisol levels, which, as I said, is adaptive, but in the long term is destructive because it stimulates high levels of insulin, high glucose, weight gain. So these are the 3 things that would increase insulin levels. High diet rich in carbohydrates, especially simple carbohydrates or processed carbohydrates. And the second one is stress, high levels of stress and consistent stress, long-term stress. Sleep deprivation, which is the third. When we have constant levels of insulin in our system, in our bloods, high levels plus persistent insulin levels, this is the recipe for diabetes as well as obesity. And down the road, other complications like in women that can progress on to polycystic ovarian syndrome and hence infertility, to increased cancer incidence. Also fatty liver disease. How does Dr. Jason Fung in his book, what are his recommendations? Simple. He says there are 2 main things that we should think when we want to curb and reverse diabetes. But mind you, this is one of the lies, he says, that we have been made to believe about type 2 diabetes. It is actually reversible. We were made to believe that diabetes type 2 is a chronic disease that will progressively get worse and worse regardless of the best medications and the best efforts that we have. Dr. Jason Fung, in his method and his recommendations, has proven this wrong. While it is a chronic disease, it is reversible. And yes, it can be naturally reversed. The second way of reversing diabetes or controlling diabetes is the timing of our eating. This is where he says we need to stop the insulin surge or the persistent elevation of insulin in our system. How? By fasting. Yes, fasting. You may have heard about intermittent fasting and fasting, 24 hours or 36-hour fasting. Yes, it has actually proven that fasting has helped immensely so many millions of people. You should see the testimonies of people who have done the fasting, the intermittent fasting, different kinds. You know, fasting is very flexible. Fasting has been practiced for so long, for centuries. There has been study that up to 368 days of fasting has not killed one person because the body is so amazingly adaptive. God has made our body adaptive to changes such that there is always things made in our system to adapt to keep us alive and balanced. Summary of what Dr. Fung recommended as a very successful way of reversing diabetes and obesity are two things. One is to mind and know what you're eating and the timing of your food. What then should we eat? Low carbohydrate diets and high good fats. Remember, carbohydrates elevate our insulin, so we're cutting foods that would spike our insulin. So what are they? We reduce our carbohydrates and then we increase our good fats. Yes, fats are not actually bad. There are good fats. In fact, it's one of the efficient sources of energy for the whole body, including our brain. And the other thing is when to eat. Fasting. So what does it mean to fast? Actually, not eat. For how long? It really all depends on you. Initially, we will talk about the incidence of fasting, how we fast. But you can start with as little as 12 hours because oftentimes having a window period of eating of 8 hours is one good way. 8 hours of eating and the rest of the 24 hours, which is 16 hours fasting. So this is all for now for this episode. If you have learned something, could you please share? Give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, please comment. Until the next episode where we will deal more into the details of what is it to eat and how do we fast. So bye for now. We seek to educate and empower you to live healthy, vibrant lives.